you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and I've been telling you for weeks about these folks coming over here from the Birmingham VA, and they're here today. The acting director, Dr. Harper, and the people first is going to talk about the choice card that's a big hit in the news today. Cathy Prellwitz. Stay where you are, get a pen, be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and today's guests are the ones I've been talking about coming down here for several weeks now. Mr. Smith, the director, could not be here because he's over in at the big house over in not the big house, but he's over taking care of the region temporarily, and his acting director is Dr. Harper, who's going to be our standing in for him. He's the acting director of the Birmingham VA, and the Cathy Prellwitz is the, let's see your title, you're the patient navigator for Veterans Choice, and she's also a social worker. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you.
Got that down, as you said. But proud of it. Welcome to the show, Doctor. And you're standing in temporary. You're acting director of the finest VA hospital in the world.
I agree.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I don't say that loosely because people that know me know that I have a lot of respect for there and our veterans clinics. They do an awesome work. You got what, 5 or 6 here in Alabama that's under your responsibility.
Actually, I think it's 9.
9, 5, 6, 9, and boy, they grow.
Something like that.
I know. The last time I asked, it was about 6, I think. But I know Childersburg and the Oxford and Southside are in our viewing area, and on ATTU-verse, they may be more, but we appreciate what they do too. But let me go to Cathy first, because as I turned on my TV this morning, the headline news was a choice card, relaxed. They're relaxing the coverage, they're relaxing the area, the rules that they've got on it. Can you tell me about that?
When the program first rolled out, one of the eligibility criteria is if the veteran lives more than 40 miles from their nearest VA facility. That was measured in a straight line distance using a geolocator software. What they've done today is relax that, and now it's going to be considered driving distance and not a straight line distance. So they'll be measuring actually how many miles the veteran has to drive to get to that nearest VA facility. And that's going to make a whole, allow a whole group of veterans that weren't previously eligible. Now they're going to be eligible.
Most veterans can't cut through the woods and get to the Birmingham VA. I understand.
Exactly.
And that was a smart move on their part to do that. And it shows again that they're listening, because the veterans were vocal about this. And the biggest thing I found out about it was not knowing, not being able to understand. I got my letter and my card, and I had questions immediately when I got it. Like, what if? And thank God I got a doctor like Dr. Qureshi here of primary care, and I've had a vascular problem. There was no 40 miles, 60 miles, 50 miles. He sent me immediately to the local hospital here for that. We didn't talk choice card, and I think that rings true of most of our VA doctors.
Yes.
But Dr. Harper, when how long have you been with the VA in Birmingham?
Next month will be a year.
Okay. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you over there, but there's been a lot of changes in that hospital for the good. And we got some people that's been there 30, I see the faces from 30 years ago, still with that hospital. And we were talking out in the green room about the compassion that they have. I think overall you got some people over there, a lot of people who really care about their work, not just there for a salary. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. There's some that I can name. I won't do it here today because I would leave some of them out, but there's a lot of people that go out of their way to help the veterans out here in the community, and y'all should be proud of them. Your background before you came here, what did you do?
I was the chief of staff at Central Texas Veterans Healthcare System in Temple, Texas, near Fort Hood, for about 4 years, and before that was chief of medicine at the same facility. And before that, I was in academics at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston.
So you know the VA system, and that's one of the things that I found over the years was the veterans will say, you're not a veteran, you don't know. But if you know the VA system and how it works and what the problems are, and then you got the procurement of money doesn't come from it. It's not a tree that you shake and the money falls out. And Cathy, is your sole job just the choice?
Yeah, it is now, yes.
They made a position just for that.
Yes, and that's what we're called, the patient navigator, and it's my job to basically what my title says, help navigate the veteran through this system.
Okay, so if someone, I gave your number out, and I want to get it now because I want to put it on the screen up there
Sure.
in the control room. What is it? 205-933?
933.
933-8101.
That's right. Extension 4567.
4567. Couldn't miss that extension.
I asked it for an easy one.
So when someone dials that number, they'll get a voicemail. You hit 1 and then 4567, and it'll put it through to you.
It'll put it right to my desk, yes.
Now, for me, I'm asking, let's say a veteran goes into their local primary care and they've got something that, let's say in my case, a vascular problem that's driving 40 or 50 miles, if we're going to say 40 miles to Birmingham, which is 60, but if we're going to drive 40 miles, would it hurt my situation for the vascular problem? It would hurt me to drive that distance, even though it falls within the parameters of that. Is there exceptions made in that case?
Unfortunately, we can't make exceptions under that 40-mile rule because this is a federal law, so the VA doesn't have the parameters to be able to amend the law. But what happens is if it's something it's a medical compromise for you to travel that distance, then we fall back on the traditional non-VA care system where your provider can put in the consult and all of that, or go through traditional non-VA care.
But a call to you will answer that.
A call to me will answer that, yes.
Yeah, because I got a fella here in town that he knew he was coming on. He wanted to ask that question because when he has to have care, sometimes it's like right then, and it would harm him to drive the distance to Birmingham. It aggravate his problem.
Yes.
It'd be like dragging a broken leg. Dr. Harper, one of the things I keep talking about here is some of the changes that VA is undergoing. They've got a new women's clinic, new eye clinic, and new parking. Is that some of the things? Is that all the things, or is that's plenty? But I mean, well, anything else?
There's a lot going on.
All right.
As far as space goes, we're bursting at the seams in most of our facilities, especially in Birmingham, where we're sort of landlocked with a city block and 9 floors. There's no place for us to expand. So in Birmingham, we are in the process of building an outpatient clinic about 4 blocks down the street, down University Boulevard, and that will be for primary care, women's health. There will be some mental health in there, and also physical therapy. And attached to that building, actually, I think the building is attached to a parking garage that I think it's 2,307 parking spots. And so instead of having our parking scattered around the downtown area of Birmingham, it will all be right there in that one parking garage, 4 blocks from our current facility, so that we'll have shuttle buses continuously making the round robin to go from there. So if you need to go to the pharmacy or the lab or to have some other clinic appointment, you can park there and go by shuttle. Wow. So that's going to be a big help, and that should be in effect. We should be getting into that building in December. It'll take us a while from the time we get in till we get furniture and equipment and everything finished. But certainly by this time next year, that building will be in use. Right. We also are building a clinic in Huntsville.
Well, hold that thought. They're telling me we got to go to a break. We got to make some money. Be right back right after this. Stay where you're going to be. Welcome back to Veterans Issues, and we're talking with Dr. Harper and Cathy Prellwitz from the Birmingham VA, and we're talking about the choice card, but we was talking about the other improvements. You started telling me about Huntsville. You're doing something in Huntsville.
In Huntsville,
we got watchers up there.
Okay, we're replacing the 2 existing clinics with one larger clinic, about 50,000 square feet, that will have primary care, and we'll have an eye clinic, a women's clinic, and we'll have X-ray and laboratory facilities. So a big improvement in that area of the state. We have some more projects that are probably 2 years down the road, but we're really
You'll
looking
keep them
forward.
close, you bet.
Right now, it's they've been approved but not funded.
You'll let me know about it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Kathy, I'm going to go to you. This is not just because you're a female, but you've seen, how long have you been in the VA system?
Just shy of 8 years.
Just shy of 8 years. You've seen the women come and go in the clinics and stuff, and the doctors. The one thing that I'm the proudest of is my efforts on the state board of fighting for women's access. Because being a Vietnam veteran, I saw the number of females that served, and I wish we could get the Red Cross involved, because, buddy, in the jungles of Vietnam, that was a great sight to see. Was a Red Cross worker come in, and they were coming into the hostile areas, and they'd risk their lives a lot of time doing that. But we can't do that. But the fact that Dr. Harper talking about with the women's clinic there and all the things that they're doing, they didn't always used to be that where they took care of the woman, the females. And we've seen that all over America, that they got caught. Let's say they got caught with their pants down. They didn't lean forward enough in thinking of all your VA facilities all over the United States to accommodate for the woman veteran. And Dr. Harper, let me ask you this. This might be a curve. If it is, we'll just throw it out in the field. We got a different kind of veteran out here now, with the Iraq and Afghanistan, with the amputees, double amputees, and the post-traumatic stress disorder. Would you agree that that's a different type veteran than just me, myself?
Yes, I think so. The stress, it's one thing to face an enemy across an open field and know who's going to be fighting who. It's quite another to be in a situation where you don't know whether that 10-year-old child over there is the enemy as well. And so it's an entirely different situation. And the signature injury, if you will, is traumatic brain injury from IEDs and other injuries. So yes, it's a different group of people.
And I've had them on the show here, a young Marine, healthy, got big old guns up there, works out, TBI, traumatic brain injury, IED explosion, normal as anyone would look, but can't remember what we talked about outside in the ground.
Correct.
And that affects a family. That affects the wife. So you're selective for getting this. You remember, you just don't want it. That's something, and we got a challenge in the state of Alabama with all those coming home. A big part of them, I think it's 20.7% or something like that, have PTSD. And there's so many levels of it, as you're aware of. And that affects the care. That affects the physical care. Is a veteran coming in and has a problem with PTSD that has not been diagnosed, but yet your people are treating that person. Do you have MD type people that look for that?
Yes, we actually have screenings for that sort of thing, especially traumatic brain injury. We do screenings, and if it screens positive, not necessarily means they have it, but the screen is to pick up the possibility. Then they are referred for an evaluation to see if it's really that's what's going on, and can get treatment for that. So yes, we do the screening for that. We have a lot of different programs for PTSD in the mental health services, and we have some training for primary care doctors and other people so that they have some feel for how to take care of these patients. They can, because of their PTSD and their traumatic brain injury, can be difficult patients to deal with. And we want everybody to have that knowledge.
Absolutely, and it's not something just a cookie cutter thing. All PTSD is not the same. Some of it's in anger, some of it's in anxiety, and some of it's just blows up. And so we've got to be able to train the people in the community. We got to train the families of these people coming home. And one of the things that we know is, and I know we have not discussed it, but we lose 22 veterans a day for suicide.
Yes.
That's just one is too many. But if you think about TBI and the effects that it has, and I've seen it personally, what it's had on families, breaking up the whole family, and they come home and there's no jobs, and they put their TBI, and you stack that on top of unemployment, and the bills are piling up, and all they got to put on their resume is a trained killer. So you add all that together, then that makes for a bad situation. And as you say, why is 22 people killing themselves a day? is a lot of reasons. Y'all got a great effort over there in Birmingham, I have to say that.
And we are working with vocational rehabilitation and joblessness, trying to help these veterans to reintegrate into the community. Even at the level of educational processes on college campuses, we have representatives from the VA to help them through that process. So we're trying to attack this problem that you're mentioning from many different angles.
But that's a veteran comes home and they've got TBI and they're easy on the hammer, you know, they anger management, and they get in trouble, and we got the Veterans Court to get them out of it. But one of the most secure jobs available for a veteran return is in public service, like law enforcement, firefighters, and things like that, and healthcare. So they can't do that if the TBI causes them to lose their temper and they get a black mark on the record and they can't get it. So we've got an effort to try to fix that, but we've got to cut that 22 down somehow. It's not just Alabama. I'm talking nationwide. We lose.
Exactly, and we're doing a lot of evidence-based psychotherapy for these people to try and get to the root of their problem and help them with it. And at the same time, we have programs meant to deal with the suicide, such as the Veterans Hotline that they can call. We have suicide prevention coordinators at each facility, so that if a veteran calls the hotline refers that call to one of our suicide prevention coordinators. They may have the veteran come in, they may send law enforcement out for a welfare check, but we do everything that we can. But even at that, because of the explosive nature of their behavior under stress, it's sometimes impossible to detect what's going to happen.
I know I have a lot of veterans, if you're taking medication like Xanax or something like that for something, and one of the questions that the caseworker will ask you, do you have a weapon? Some of our veterans, they're trying to take our weapons away from it, but there's a reason they ask that. And they ask it to me, and I say, yes, I do. And I tell them what kind it is. They offer me a lock for it and all that stuff. I don't take that the wrong way, because I know why they're asking that question. I just told you 22. And I say, with 22 veterans killing themselves a day, why shouldn't they ask me that? And we got about a minute. Can sum up what I left out in 1 minute. Things that you need to make sure people understand out there.
You want me to go first?
Either one.
Sure.
Okay. Well, with the choice program, I think the major thing that veterans need to understand is that the choice program isn't designed to give them free access to health care in the community. And that when it was first rolled out, there wasn't a lot of explanation, and I think I have found that there's a lot of misunderstanding, that they could just now take this card and go see a community doctor and the VA will pay for it. And it all has to be authorized and pre-authorized through us, and we have to submit it through another third-party program that's helping regulate all of that.
Well, you're going to get a lot of calls. Doctor, I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you,
And
sir.
you got that worked out real good. You're going to be good at it. Thank you, Cathy.
Thank you so
And,
much.
There'll be people calling. They'll call me
Good,
too. They got
good.
my number on here. Appreciate it. And appreciate Jeff Hester coming in. He's in the audience out there somewhere. We can't see him as many out there. But Jeff, we appreciate you coming in too. We got to go to a break. Got news that you can use. Stay where you are. Get that pen. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Appreciate Dr. Harper coming down, and Cathy, and Jeff Hester from over at Birmingham. And a lot of good information. And if you didn't get the information that you thought you were going to get, I've got her number. You've got her number, and call me, and we will find out what it is. I got all the information I need. I got about the 40 miles the way the crow flies, as opposed to zigzag. Anyhow, those of you that know someone that needs a track chair, like the ones that you see on Wounded Warriors, give me a call. I got an input for that. If you got somebody that's got a power chair and they'd like to access the outdoors, I'm the guy you need to call. You call me, or you can email me, or there's a lot of people who are on Facebook, and my Facebook weighs about this much, so be sure and do that. Now, some of the things I tell you about each week is about what the VA is doing in Birmingham, and Dr. Harper's already told you about that. I was talking about the women's clinic, the eye clinic, and for God's sake, that parking area is a blessing, because we got UAB and we got the children's hospitals they have to share with us. We're getting our own, I said, 4 blocks away. And I'm going to treat the law enforcement tag as a blessing to all of us. The law enforcement tag, anyone can buy that tag. You don't have to be connected to law enforcement, but it does pay for those who have lost their lives in a line of duty. And so if you purchase that tag, that portion of that tag cost goes to the law enforcement memorial that we're building here in Anniston and Centennial Park, and that will honor all the law enforcement that died in the line of duty. So the tag looks good on your car. It's got all the colors you want to see, and it matches every car. While I'm talking about that, I want to talk about something that I have not been talking to you about lately, but I saw it on the way in here today. These Support Our Troops magnets that you put, look like a bow tie that you put on the back of your vehicle. I saw today what I've been talking about, 2 over here and 2 places where they used to be, because it's ruined the paint on the car. These things are made out of metal, they're magnets, and when the sun hits them, they burn into your paint. Now, the people that own body shops out there hate me saying this, but these things ruin your paint job, folks. I want you to support our troops. I want you to display that. What I want you to do is when you fill up with gas, move it. Every time you do a tank of gas, move it to the other side. But don't let it sit in that one place. You know what it's like when you hang a picture on your wall and all that dust gets around it, and then you move the picture, well, when you get ready to trade the car in, value goes down because they're going to have to rebuff it or buff it, and they're going to have to get that back to normal. So just support our troops, use the flag, but change it when you get gas, move it. Got it? Check you out. If I see you more of you, like I'm blow my horn, stop you. Pay it forward. I did that this morning. The fellow behind me is so dumbfounded, he's looking like this. I paid for his, whatever he got at Dunkin' Donuts, was $5 or something, and I guess I'm just wondering what went through his mind. He's like, what happened? Somebody paid for my, and then he's waving at me. And so that's a good thing out there to do it. I was blessed more than he was, I can assure you that. The parking that we have now, for those of you that's just starting to go over 2128 4th Avenue North, they get you shuttled and get you to the VA on time. Never been late because of them. I might have been late because of me. Great people, doing great stuff. I appreciate all they do at the VA, and I really appreciate when I said something about the clinics. I really do appreciate what all of our clinics are doing. Is Oxford, Southside, and Childersburg. Those here in Oxford, they know I love them and I appreciate it. So we got, I don't know how much we got enough time to do all the stuff I need to do here. I'm trying to, oh Lord, they tell me I'm just better get out of here or shut up and to see you next week. I got to go. This salute goes out to all the clinics, the 3 that's in our area. See you next week here on Veterans Issue. We're gone.